The topics we will cover include when you should file a PA Schedule W-2S with your PA 40, when you need to submit a copy of the Form W-2, when you need to submit a copy of the Form 1099, how to submit your information to the department. Before we review the Form W-2 and when you need to submit it with your return, let's discuss who must file a PA 40. Any PA resident, non-resident, or part-year resident who received total PA gross taxable income in excess of $33 during the tax year, even if no tax is due, and or incurred a loss from any transaction as an individual, sole proprietor, partner in a partnership, or PAS corporation shareholder. Please note, it is not uncommon to have multiple Forms W-2 and or 1099 at the time of filing. If you do have one or more Forms W-2 and or 1099, the PA Schedule W-2S allows you to verify that the correct amounts of income and tax withholding are being reported for Pennsylvania purposes. Once you enter your information into the PA Schedule W-2S, the total PA compensation is reported on line 1A of the PA 40, and the PA withholding is reported on line 13 of the PA 40. Now we will discuss the Form W-2. The Form W-2 is the form that an employer must send to an employee, the Internal Revenue Service, and any relevant state taxing authorities as listed in Box 15 of the Form W-2 at the end of the year. The Form W-2 reports an employee's annual wages and the amount of taxes withheld from their paycheck. Here is an example of the Form W-2 for state tax purposes. Some of the main boxes you may need are Box A, which contains the employee's Social Security number, Box B, which contains the employer's identification number, Box C, which contains the employer's name and address, Boxes E and F, which contain the employee's name and address, Box 1, which contains the wages, tips, other compensation, which is the federal wages, Box 5, which contains the Medicare wages and tips, Box 12, codes, and Box 14, other, which may contain taxable income or non-taxable deductions, in which case please refer to the instructions for how to report this. Box 15, which contains the state or states in which the compensation was earned, Box 16, which contains the state wages, and Box 17, which contains the state income tax, also known as withholding. In general, when the Medicare wage, Box 5, and the state wage, Box 16, of the W-2 are the same, and the tax withholding in Box 17 is at the PA tax rate, currently at 3.07%, you do not need to submit a copy of the Form W-2 with your PA 40. However, there may be times when you do. Here are 9 situations when you do need to submit a copy of the Form W-2 with your PA 40. Reason 1. The PA compensation entered on line 1A of your PA 40 is not the same as Box 16 on your Form W-2. As you can see by this example, the wages listed on line 1A of the PA 40 indicates $5,000 in income, while the W-2 indicates $10,000. If you have multiple Form W-2, use the totals from Part A of your Schedule W-2S. Please note, the department may request a letter from the employer explaining why the income amounts are different. Reason number 2. The employer provided a handwritten Form W-2. While it is acceptable to receive a handwritten Form W-2, the copy needs to be submitted along with your PA 40. Reason number 3. The employer reported an incorrect amount on Form W-2. If the employer reports an incorrect amount in any of the boxes on Form W-2, you'll need to obtain a W-2C from your employer reporting the correction in wages or tax withholding. A signed statement from the employer must be submitted to the department along with the W-2C to verify the correction. Here is a copy of the W-2C that your employer should give to you, along with an example of a letter that you should receive and provide to the Department of Revenue. Reason number 4. The employer withheld PA income tax from wages at a rate that is more than the current tax year's rate, which is 3.07%. When an employer withholds at a greater rate than Pennsylvania's tax rate, a copy of the W-2 needs to be submitted to the department. As you can see from the example provided, the withholding on this W-2 is greater than 3.07%. The withholding should be $3,070, not $5,000. The department may request a letter from the employer to verify the excessive withholding. Reason number 5. PA income tax was withheld by an employer for a resident of a reciprocal compensation agreement state. There are 6 states, Indiana, Maryland, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia, and West Virginia, that have a reciprocal agreement with Pennsylvania concerning the taxability of W-2 income. The reciprocal agreement states that W-2 income is only taxable to the taxpayer's resident state. This does not apply to any other class of income. In this scenario, if a taxpayer is a resident of one of the 6 states listed, they are able to file a tax return with PA, only reporting the tax withholding from Box 17 of the Form W-2 on line 13 of the PA-40, and requesting a refund of the amount withheld. Do not include wages from Box 16 of the Form W-2 on line 1A of the PA-40. A copy of the W-2 will need to be provided for review. Reason number 6. The Medicare wages in Box 5 on your Form W-2 are greater than your PA wages in Box 16. In this case, you must complete the PA-40 W-2 reconciliation worksheet and include it with your return. The PA reconciliation worksheet must be provided when the items in Box 12 and/or Box 14 do not reconcile the difference between the wages. If you complete the reconciliation worksheet and are not able to reconcile the wages, you'll want to talk to your employer to obtain a reconciliation of your wages. However, if your boxes 12 and 14 reconcile the difference in wages and the electronic copy of the Form W-2 is submitted with the federal tax form, you do not need to submit a copy of your Form W-2. Reason number 7. A PA resident is working in another state or country and did not have PA income tax withheld by the employer. In this example, the employer withheld New York State income tax in the amount of $4,000 located in Box 17. The W-2 should be provided upon the filing of the PA-40 personal income tax return. Any withholding reported to the other state in Box 17 of the W-2 does not get reported on line 13 PA tax withheld of the PA-40 tax return. Reason number 8. A distribution from a non-qualified deferred compensation plan is included in Box 1 of your Form W-2. The department requires a copy of the W-2 when there is a distribution from non-qualified deferred compensation plans. The example here provides what the W-2 would look like. Reason number 9. Form W-2 shows income earned or tax withheld for another state. If the Form W-2 shows income or tax withholding to multiple states, Form W-2 needs to be submitted. Provided in this example, there are multiple states in which the income may or may not be taxable. Unlike reason number 7, this reason does not depend on the residency of the individual. Next, let's discuss Form 1099. The 1099 is used to report different sources of non-employee compensation or income that is not a wage, salary, or a tip. Form 1099-R is used to report distributions from pensions, annuities, retirement or profit-sharing plans, IRAs, insurance contracts, etc. To determine the taxability of the Form 1099, please refer to Box 7, which lists the distribution code. If you need assistance with determining whether your Form 1099 is taxable, please visit the department's online customer service center concerning how PA determines the taxability of the 1099-Rs. Form 1099 Miscellaneous is used for miscellaneous income such as professional fees, non-employee or contractor compensation, rent payments, or awards. If you report any Form 1099 income on your state income tax return, you must include a copy of the form. Now that we have discussed Form W-2 and Form 1099, let's talk about how to send your information to the department. The best way to submit any supporting documentation such as Form W-2 and Form 1099 is to attach them as a PDF file when you file the returns electronically. If you are unable to attach the documentation with the electronic filing, or you file a paper return, please send it via fax or email to ensure it is received timely. Please note that while you can still mail your information if the other methods are not feasible, mailing correspondence will take much longer for the documentation to be received and reviewed. If you do use email or fax to send in documentation, you should also include the DEX 93 Personal Income Tax Correspondence Sheet. This is a cover sheet that allows the department to process your correspondence more efficiently by indicating the reason that the correspondence is being sent. If you use this cover sheet, the correspondence can be uploaded to our system within 2 to 3 business days of the receipt date. There are some email rules or tips listed on the DEX 93 that you will need to follow if you send the correspondence via email, which include all attachments must be PDF files, no messages in the body of the email, no links to shared files, maximum email file size is 15 megabytes, limit is 1 taxpayer's information per email, a correspondence sheet or copy of the department's notice is required for each email attachment, use the reason block check as email subject, multiple emails for 1 taxpayer labeled using 1 of 3 or 2 of 4, redact all of the Social Security number to the last 4 digits of the Social Security number, use the DLN or document locator number in the upper right corner of your notice if available, and emails without identification information are deleted without posting to any account. For any additional questions or concerns, please visit our online customer service center and review the FAQs. If your question still was not answered, you can either submit a question to the department or contact our Customer Experience Center. A list of resources and useful links is listed in the description box below.